All right, guys. Hope you can hear me over the wind blowing out here, but I am getting ready to go and pick up some fertilizer. And I got my old trusty F350 here hooked up to my 8-ton lime spreader, and yes, it will spread fertilizer quite well. And I have the brakes locked out. This thing doesn't like to be towed on the road in the hills that I live on. Around here, up and down hills all the time, the surge brakes will apply too much and they get the brake drums too hot, and then you start smoking, and then you got to pull over and let them cool down. So that's why we built that little device. I have a video on that somewhere if you can find it, if you're interested. But anyway, let's head up the road about 20 miles and pick up some fertilizer. Now, one thing that helps this thing spread fertilizer well is this sawtooth edge on the end of this floor pan. And that, with this type of chain, which is good for spreading lime, it's not as good for spreading fertilizer, because you'll get, as it comes over, you'll get a clump of fertilizer and clump of fertilizer and clump of fertilizer. But they put this sawtooth type floor pan in it, and it allows the fertilizer to fall in through these grooves between each slat, so it's a more even flow, which was a brilliant idea on Stoltzfus's part, I would say, because it seems to spread pretty evenly, even with this floor chain. So, and if you've used one of these, a lot of people rent these things out. Most of the ones that spread fertilizer only have a 6-inch chain, and it's like a mesh type chain. It's not like this. So that's one of the biggest differences between this spreader and the fertilizer spreader, is the width of the chain, the type of chain it is, and the side slopes. I've explained all that in another video already, so I won't get into it. But anyway, let's ride down the road for a little while. All right, so we made it to the farm supply here, and we're just waiting on them to start mixing the fertilizer up with this little loader sitting over here. It's a cute little thing. It's a John Deere something, 304K. But anyway, so I've got, if you notice, I've got this bow up here. I put this bow right here on, and that is to hold the tarp up. I got a tarp in this box over here to put on top of it, and that will keep me from blowing the fertilizer off while I'm going down the road 55 mile an hour or something. And I don't really feel like fertilizing the sides of the roads all the way back to Meadows of Dan from here. Anyway, it's like he's getting started. Now what he's doing right now is he's got all these bins of ingredients, potash, urea, so forth, and he is putting all the ingredients into the mixer. There's a set of scales on the mixer, and he'll put the right amount of each ingredient into the mixer, and it'll mix it up. And once he gets, I'm getting 4 tons. Once he gets 4 tons in the mixer, he'll let it mix for just a few minutes, and then he'll pull the lever, and it'll run it into conveyor belt right into my spreader here. This is a brand new store here in Hillsville, Virginia, and it is right across the road from the southern states. But they gave me a good price on fertilizer, and my dad's has been selling them mulch this year. This is I think they've been in business not quite a year. They started last April 2016. So looks like they're doing pretty good. All that elastic band there has to be threaded through all the holes in the tarp, and I didn't know it wasn't already done. So I'm not going to spend 2 hours up here in their parking lot fixing the tarp. So I did get up there on it. This thing would probably held at least another ton of fertilizer. I put 4 on it, and I got up there and I worked it all down deep inside of it, so I don't think the wind will blow it out too bad. I'm not worried about rain. It's not supposed to rain. So all right, let's take our 20-mile trip back to the house and get this stuff spread. Oh, and he checked the density for me. It's 58 pounds per cubic foot, so it's a little bit heavier than what I figured it was. I was guessing 55 pounds per cubic foot. But that I have to know that so I can get my rates right. And I've never seen a place. I've never bought fertilizer at a place that could actually tell you what the density was. So that was kind of nice. I have a way I can check the density of the material I spread. So that's what I was going to do. But anyway, let's go back to the house and get to work. I tell you, this thing pulls a whole lot better loaded than it does empty. It just kind of bounces a whole lot when it's empty. But I'm running about 55-ish, and it's back there. I promise. I think it's got a tire out of balance, though, because you get up about 90, it really gets to jumping up and down with you, though. So you got to keep it under about 80.